I was standing in the fitting room adjusting my tie in front of the mirror when I felt this overwhelming sense of gratitude wash over me. In 2 weeks, I would be marrying Kayla, the woman I had loved for 3 years. Everything was perfect. The venue was booked. The guests had confirmed our honeymoon to Italy was planned down to the last detail. I thought I was the luckiest man alive. But there was this tiny voice in the back of my head, this small unease about her bachelorette party in Miami. I had no idea that in 72 hours I would be standing in front of a wedding venue for a completely different reason. Before I tell you how everything fell apart, let me know in the comments where you are watching from, and if you have ever had your trust shattered right before a major life event. Hit that like button and subscribe, because this story takes turns you will not see coming. Now, let me take you back to where the cracks first started to show. My name is Graham. I am 28 years old, and I work as an architect in Denver, Colorado. I have always been the kind of guy who believes in doing things right. Stable career, good relationship, with my family, solid group of friends. I am not the type to jump into things without thinking them through. So when I met Kayla 3 years ago, I knew I had to be patient. It happened at this little coffee shop downtown. I was working on some blueprints for a project, and she walked in wearing this yellow sundress that just lit up the whole room. She ordered a caramel latte, and when the barista called her name, I heard it for the first time. Kayla. Something about the way she smiled when she thanked him made me want to know her. I am not usually the guy who walks up to strangers, but something told me I would regret it if I did not. So I did. I introduced myself, made some awkward joke about how architects and teachers both build things just in different ways. She laughed. That laugh, man, it was genuine. We talked for 2 hours straight. She told me about her job teaching 3rd grade, how much she loved seeing kids learn to read, how she wanted to make a difference in their lives. She said because if she were in my position, she would want someone to tell her the truth. Then she dropped another bomb. She said Melissa had told the group not to say anything to me, that it would just cause unnecessary drama. That was when I knew this was serious. I thanked Amanda for calling and hung up. I sat there in the dark, my mind racing. Part of me wanted to call Kayla right then and scream at her, demand answers. But another part of me knew I needed proof before I did anything. She would wake up early to prep lesson plans, and I would make her coffee before heading to the office. We had our routines, our inside jokes, our plans for the future. 2 months ago, I took her back to that same spot in the mountains where we watched our first sunrise together. I got down on one knee and asked her to marry me. She said yes without hesitation. We cried, we laughed, we called our families. It was one of the best days of my life. Planning the wedding was surprisingly easy. We picked a beautiful venue overlooking the mountains, hired a photographer Kayla had been following on Instagram for years, and booked a band that played at my cousin's wedding. Both our families got along great. My mom and her mom went dress shopping together. My dad and her dad bonded over their shared love of fly fishing. Everything was falling into place. Then came the topic of bachelor and bachelorette parties. Kayla's older sister, Melissa, suggested a trip to Miami for the girls. At first, Kayla seemed hesitant. She told me she was not really the partying type, that she would be just as happy with a spa day in Denver. But Melissa kept pushing, saying it was her last hurrah as a single woman, that she deserved to let loose a little. Eventually, Kayla agreed. She invited 5 of her closest friends to join her and Melissa for a long weekend in South Beach. I was supportive. Why would not I be? Kayla had always been responsible, always made good decisions. I trusted her completely. Plus, I had my own plans. Derek, my best man and best friend since high school, organized a fishing trip to the mountains with my younger brother Brad and a few buddies. Nothing crazy, just good food, cold beer, and terrible jokes around a campfire.